Welcome back to lesson 2 of I'll Tell Me Ma. Little bit shorter chunk of music here for you today. You survived lesson 1, and if you missed out on lesson 1 or you're wanting to jump ahead to another lesson in the workshop, click on the link below. You can get all the lessons there, and if it's just the sheet music you're after, you can find it in that link as well. And little bit shorter chunk here because we're going to take it on to what we've already done in lesson 1. And I'm so excited that you're here getting I'll Tell Me Ma Bagpipe ready. Let's go ahead and play what we've got so far. And then here's the lesson 2 chunk. Not too bad, right? And then lesson 3, which we'll get to, I'll show you that in lesson 3. So here we are, lesson 2 chunk, starting on the F that we ended off lesson 1 on. So there is a little tricky high A grace note that we'll get to when we do the embellishments, but first just the straight up notes, no embellishments. Well, I lied just a little bit. We have one insy binsy teensy weensy embellishment, just a E strike, but I know you can handle it. So non-embellished version, we're starting on the F, we're going to go up to the G just by lifting up that top finger, and then back to the F, and then down to the E, just kind of like we're going down the scale. So of course, to get to that E, we just drop down that middle finger. Now that we're on that E, now we're going to do a tap or a strike. That ring finger is going to cover the hole and come right back up again. Bottom hand this whole time just stays in that low A position, pinkies up. So there's our tap or E strike. Now we're not wanting to stay in that hole so long that it sounds like a whole other note together. Not quite what we're going for. We just want to quickly pat that hole, give it a pat, give it a tap, and right back off again. But don't go so quick that you miss it completely, because then we won't even hear it. Just that little pat or that little tap. Perfect. So if that's new to you, feel free to pause the video, annoy your friends and neighbors, show off to your kids and pets with your E strikes, and then I'll be here waiting for you to continue lesson 2. And continuing lesson 2, we're just going to add in those embellishments here. So we've already added in the 1, so we just have this kind of high A grace note, or this thumb grace note that we're going to talk about. But first, just to mention, in that link below, you can access all the lessons, as I said before, but you can also access the monthly membership. And monthly membership, you get access to all the different lessons and all the tune workshops, and 10% of your fees go directly to charity, Peace Through Music International charity, which helps bring music to kids who really need music in their lives. And so different war-torn countries, refugee camps, situations like this where, you know, music can just do amazing things in the world. And check out the charity if you're curious on that. Peace Through Music International charity. All right, let's talk about that last embellishment for the lesson that we've got to add in. That's where it is. So I'm playing a grace note there with my thumb, because I have gone up from the F to the G. I can't do a G grace note here because my G grace note finger is already off the hole, but I can still get that grace note sound by lifting the thumb first, then the top finger comes on, and then the thumb comes on the chanter. There's the slow motion just so you can see that the thumb is first to come off, then the finger comes on, then the thumb comes back on. So you won't get a crossing noise as long as that top finger comes on before that thumb comes back on, and as long as that thumb comes off before the top finger touches. So that's the only embellishment that we haven't gone over yet in lesson 2. So, but let's tie in this lesson 2 chunk onto the lesson 1 chunk so you get comfortable with that. And And then in lesson 3, I think lesson 3 we'll talk a little bit about downbeats. If you're tapping your foot in this first line, where would you tap those downbeats as you play through the first line? But right now, let's just tie in these 2 chunks together. And that's what we've got so far. I'll play that once more. Again, check out the links below for all the lessons of the workshop. Interested in the membership, the charity, check that out. The sheet music, it's all there in the link below. But let me just play through this first line for you, including the lesson 3 chunk, which we'll get into in a moment.